낭독하는 명작 동화 Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom far away. The king and queen wanted a child. They wished for a child for many years. Finally, their wish came true. They had a beautiful baby girl. They were so happy. The king and queen decided to have a big feast. They wanted the blessings of the fairies. So they invited all the fairies in the kingdom. But they forgot to invite one fairy. Everyone smiled and laughed at the feast. All the fairies came near the baby princess. They gave their gifts to her. "You will be smart," said the first fairy. "You will be beautiful," said the second fairy. "You will dance well," said the third fairy. "Your voice will be sweet," said the fourth fairy. "Your heart will be full of love," said the fifth fairy. "You will always be happy," said the sixth fairy. "You'll be brave and strong," said the seventh fairy. The king and queen were thankful for the blessings. Everyone had delicious food and they were happy. But then the uninvited fairy came. She was very angry, so she put a curse on the baby. "When she turns 16, she will touch a spinning wheel and she will die," said the fairy. Then the fairy flew out of the room. Everyone was shocked and scared. "I cannot let my daughter die. Please wipe out this curse," said the king. One of the seven fairies came near the baby. The good fairy said to the king, "Do not worry, I can change the curse a little bit. The princess will not die. She will only sleep forever. She can only wake up when the prince wakes her up." The king and queen were hopeful. They wanted to protect their daughter. The king said, "I do not want my daughter to sleep forever. Guard, check every home in the country. Find every spinning wheel and bring them here." The guards brought all the spinning wheels to the castle. They burned all of them except one. It belonged to a woman in an old tower. Nobody knew about that tower or the spinning wheel. Years went by and the princess grew up. She turned 16. The fairies' blessings came true. The princess was beautiful, smart, and loving. Everyone in the kingdom loved her. One day, the princess explored the castle, and she saw an old tower. "What is that place?" The princess was curious. She went inside the tower and found a room. She opened the door and saw an old woman. The old woman was sitting beside a spinning wheel. The princess had never seen a spinning wheel before. "What is that?" The princess asked the old woman. "It is a spinning wheel, dear," said the old woman. She did not know she was talking to the princess. "It is beautiful. I want to use it," said the princess. "Come sit in my chair," said the old woman kindly. When the princess touched the wheel, it stabbed her. "Ouch!" she cried out aloud. "Are you okay, dear?" the old woman asked. Suddenly, the princess felt very sleepy. She fell to the ground, then she fell into a deep sleep. The curse came true. The king heard about this and he became very sad. He looked for the good fairy. The fairy came quickly. Everyone shall sleep for 100 years with the princess. That way, she will not be lonely when she wakes up. Her family and friends will be beside her, the fairy thought. Then the good fairy cast a spell. Everyone else in the castle fell asleep at the same time. Even the dogs and horses fell asleep. The castle was covered in bushes. It was hidden from the world. A prince had to come and break the curse. 100 years went by. No one could see the castle. Inside, everyone was still sleeping. They were still under the good fairy's spell. One day, a young prince was riding a horse with his friends. He was near the princess's castle. "I heard there's a beautiful princess nearby, but she is living in a hidden castle," said his friend. The prince became curious. He wanted to see if the story was true. "I want to find this castle. I will see if she is really there," said the prince. The prince asked people about the castle. Some said it was just a story. "Some princes tried to find the castle," one man told the prince, "but they all failed." One day, the prince saw a thick wall. It was covered with a lot of thorns. He went closer to the wall and saw a castle behind it. "I think that is the castle," the prince thought. He had to get through the thorns. The prince was brave. He took out his sword to cut the thorns. He thought about the princess. Then something magical happened. The thorns started to move. They made a path for him. The good fairy was helping him. She knew he had true love in his heart. The prince walked through the path. When he entered the castle, the thorns moved back again. So the prince's friends could not enter. "This is strange," the prince thought. "But I must find the princess." The castle was very quiet. Everyone was on the ground and they were snoring. Some were snoring very loudly. The prince walked through the halls, but he could not find the princess. "Maybe she's not here," he thought. Then the prince found the old tower. "I hope the princess is there," he thought. He climbed the stairs and entered the room. Finally, he saw the sleeping princess. She was very beautiful. She seemed kind too. The prince felt like he knew her. "I am in love with her," he thought. He knelt down in front of the princess. Suddenly, the princess opened her eyes. She saw the prince and smiled. She felt like she knew him too. The king and queen also woke up. One by one, everyone in the castle woke up. The dogs and horses also woke up. They were all yawning and stretching. The curse was gone. Everyone was hungry. They had not eaten for 100 years. The servants went to the kitchen, and they got ready for a big feast. Once the food was all cooked, everyone came. They ate a lot and celebrated life. During the feast, the princess and the prince talked. They shared many stories and laughed. Eventually, the princess and the prince got married. They lived together in the castle. They loved each other very much. The end.